throw it over my backpack, and I'm sitting, and I bring the poncho down over my feet like this, and I'm just like basically just huddled up at the top of the mountain like this. I'm straight up looking like an angry troll. I hear rustling in the bushes beside me. I turn my light back on, and to my left is a black bear. Shine my light, and it is maybe 8 to 10 feet away from me. Okay. All right, so welcome back to another video, everybody. This is the start of a new series I'm going to try where it's kind of like a podcast, but because I'm by myself telling you the story, I'm going to just call it a story cast. And to start it off, we're just going to start with one of my more favorite stories that's ever happened to me. These stories are 100% true. If I have any video clips from the time of filming these stories sort of thing, I'll post them in the video like as I'm talking through. Basically, this is just going to be a one shot, one take. Just keep it raw, keep it fun, and yeah. So the first story on the list is going to be one of my favorites. It's a place called Killarney. So it's 4 hours north of Toronto if you're in Ontario. I'm from Ontario, Canada. Yeah, so basically it's the time where I was stuck in fog at a cell service. I was 6 kilometers from like the nearest campsite, basically. I was basically in the middle of nowhere. So, all right, so just to bring things into context, let's go back to the start of this story and why I was up there in the first place. So I used to be really into photography. It was kind of my job, my thing back in the day, a couple years ago. And this story took place, I want to say this story took place 2017. Heading up there for a sunset shoot. So there's this famous trail up there called the Crack. So it's about a 3-hour hike, round trip trail for most people if you're walking. I used to be able to run it in about an hour. I checked the weather on the way up, or before I left, I checked the weather, and it was kind of rainy earlier in that day. And then around 5-6 o'clock sort of thing, it was supposed to clear up. And I figured that'd be perfect because around that time, the sun starts to go down. If the clouds are still up in the sky, the sun will be below the clouds at sunset, kind of light up the clouds. It'd be this crazy banger shot sort of thing. So I'm just sitting there just awestruck and gawking. I'm just like, yeah, let's go. I was just so hyped. So I get in my car. I just start driving like 4 hours. It's like 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So I just head in my car. I just start driving up there like day trip style. So I head up there. I get up there and it is just straight cloud, like no cloud definition, just gray, dull, like just boring as hell. So I'm like, well, I drove all this way. It's 4 hours. I'm supposed to basically take a picture, turn around, drive home that night. I knew it was going to start to rain. It was kind of like drizzling. So I threw a poncho in my bag. I had my rain jacket with me. I had my rain gear. I do the hike. I run in. It's a little bit muddy. I get to the approach area where like the mountain starts. And basically I start the climb. And there's a place it's famous for. It's called the Crack. And basically it's just like part of the rock just split away from itself and just made this perfect crack. And that's how you walk through this crack to get to the summit at the top, and then you get your viewpoint. And there's a couple like little hidden spots around. So I was going to be like, this is going to be great. Fast forward about an hour. So I've done the hike. I'm making it to the top. I'm coming up through the crack. And I made it to the top, and it starts torrential downpouring. I'm talking like you can't see 15 feet in front of you sort of thing. I don't know, I'm holding that. But you can't see 15 feet in front of you because this rain was coming down so heavy. So I'm just sitting there like an angry troll at the top of the mountain. Like I'm going to stand. I just hope this thing doesn't fall. But like, I threw the poncho on me. I throw it over my backpack, and I'm sitting, and I bring the poncho down over my feet like this. And I'm just like basically just huddled up at the top of the mountain like this. I'm straight up looking like an angry troll. So I'm just sitting there just like all pissed off. And I'm just like, oh, come on, like hurry up. I'm just waiting for this rain to stop if it ever does. And I'm like, whatever, it'll be kind of cool, I guess. Oh, so needless to say, the rain does stop after like 15-20 minutes, and it was amazing for like 20 minutes after that. So there was this low-lying fog, like cloud cover in the base. There's kind of like a bunch of like mountain lakes and stuff, and then you have the mountains surrounding it. So like there was this low-lying fog, which looked so damn cool. So I was like, all right, sunset didn't work, but like this is going to be a kind of a cool shot. It might not look good for photos, but whatever, time lapse, I'll try some stuff. Anyway, so I get some shots, and it starts getting like really dark, and the clouds start coming like an updraft up the side of the cliffs. So like all the fog that was down on the bottom came up, and it starts getting like really dark. And I was like, I look at the clock, it's probably like 7:30 by this point. So now I'm like, okay, it's kind of getting dark and it's kind of getting foggy. I should probably head out of here. So I start turning around. I pack up my camera gear. I put the rain cover back on. I put everything back on, whatever. And I start heading down the mountain. And I get through the crack. I get down like the little wash part of the there's like this whole section of like rocks that's kind of just like falling. So you're basically like climbing down boulders, obviously being slippery from all the rain. So I get to the bottom of that, but basically I've just done like not even like 5% of the mountain. Like I've literally just come down that far, and it's just straight fog. I cannot see in front of me. Like basically where the camera is, where you guys are, I'm maybe 2 arm lengths away sort of thing. So what's that? I don't know, 5-6 feet. I can't see. I couldn't see where you guys are. Like there was just dead fog. And now I'm kind of like, like I can't see anything. And the trail's like, there is no trail. It's not marked. It's just kind of like, you can see there's like little, so there's these like red and blue markers that kind of guide your way. But I'm talking like they're like maybe 100-200 feet apart from each other. So you'd really have to have a nice clear line of sight to see them. And at night, you can't see them at all unless you have your flashlight. So I had like my video light, like I had like a video light, like the one on the camera sort of thing. So I turned that on, and it just does like, it just lights up in front of me. So now I just got like a wall of light in front of me. I can't see anything at all. And I'm like, I'm lost. So I can't find the markers. I start going in circles. This is the one time I've kind of been scared. Usually I can find my bearings. If I'm lost, I'm pretty good at like just having like a mental GPS of where I am. And it was one of the scariest things where I thought I was going straight, and I would mark where I left, and I thought I was going straight. And as I was going straight, I show up at my marker. And that just made my heart sink. That at first it made my heart sink. Then followed by my heart was going like it just got so fast. And I was like, okay, just keep calm. You're fine. Like I know this area. I've done this hike like millions of times. Okay, not millions of times, but like literally pretty close to almost like 100 times by now. And I'm just like, I have no clue where I am. So I start just frantically kind of looking around. The rocks are slippery, so I can't move quickly. It's dark, like it's proper dark now. I figure I'll just start walking this way. It seems like I'm going down the mountain. I didn't know it. I was going sideways, and I was just going straight towards a cliff. But you couldn't see the cliff. I could only see like maybe 5 feet in front of me. So I was like kind of like hustling, like not jogging, not really walking, kind of in the middle ground. And I just full on just stop right at the edge of this cliff. And it's not big. It's maybe like 100 feet, but it's enough to do some damage. So I'm like, okay, just calm down, Dan, you'll be okay. Just whatever. But my heart's just kind of going, your head just starts playing like these tricks on you and stuff. So now it's raining again. And I've probably been wandering for 45 minutes, and it's just like I'm looking around. So I'm going this way, and then like I'm going this way, and then I'm going, just thinking I'm going the right way, but I'm not. And I finally kind of came to my bearings, and I figured, okay, the best way to kind of figure this out is mark my starting point, walk 50 feet or 25 feet ahead of me, and mark it again, and literally just make markers. And if I found a marker, I would continue. But there's a lot of times where I would literally just start systematically going in these lines until I found a marker. So I started this way. I would go out a little bit, didn't find anything, turn around, come back, starting at this marker, going to the next one. And I would go this way, and I would go this way, systematically until I found the next marker. That happened 3 or 4 more times, because that's when you're basically on like the rock area. The rock area is just kind of big and expansive, and it all looks the same. You don't really know, it's kind of flat, so you can't really tell if you're going up or down. And I finally find kind of where the trail starts, but it's at this point you've gone from rocks, exposed rock, to just dense forest. And this was before the time they had the they have a trail there now, which is kind of like marked out really well. Before, it was literally just kind of make your own trail. They had very, very sparsely marked areas, I guess. But this was the second time I've been scared, where I look at the tree and I go, okay, that marker right there, I'm going to mark it. I'm going to turn this way for 50 feet. I turn around. I walk maybe 10 feet. I turn around and I cannot see the marker. I've lost the marker. So now I'm just in the woods and I'm just looking at tree trunks, pine trees, where it's just everything really looks the same now because you're in the forest. On top of that, the fog is still there and it's raining. I've slipped a couple times. So this would be the second section. And it was one of those, like, I've literally felt like I did a 360, turn around, and the marker's gone. And it's just, my heart sank again. So now I'm continuing down the mountain, figuring it out. Same thing, systematically just going different directions. Mind you, I am 6 kilometers from the nearest campsite. The campground, because it's a very outback campground, it was closed. There's no one working. You are also starting part of a 72 kilometer loop round trail that takes about a week to complete. So if I kept going the wrong way, I'd be on a trail for about a week. On top of that, I had 0 cell reception. I actually did try calling search and rescue, and my phone didn't even connect for that after a while. So now I'm 2 hours in of just frantically just lost in the fog, can't see anything. And I finally found it. I found one of the markers, and I was at a point where I was low enough on the mountain where the fog was above me now, so I kind of see up ahead. So I was at this marker, and I would mark my trail, but I could also see another marker. So I'd still mark my trail, get to that next marker, do the same thing. And I hear rustling in the bushes beside me, and I turn my light back on, and to my left is a black bear. I am not kidding. I am not making this up. There was a black bear. I guess it saw my light and it got curious. So I shine my light, and it is maybe 8 to 10 feet away from me. Like, it was that close. I had no idea. And I'm sitting there. I was so tired at this point, I didn't even care. Like, I was just like so done and ready to just go and get out of there. I just yelled. I started yelling at this thing. I was just yelling, "Hey, get out of here!" Just yelling at this thing. I point my light straight at it. I basically kind of just do like a and just jump at it, and it ended up just scurrying off into the woods, sort of thing. I think it was honestly just more curious of what it was or who I was, sort of thing. Just checking me out. It didn't want to like attack me or anything, but I was so done that I didn't even care that this bear was following me or just kind of looking at me, sort of thing. So needless to say, as soon as I had the main trail, I ran back to my car. Quickly had a little I think a banana and like a granola bar sort of thing. Just pumped it down because I was just starving at that point. And then basically had a 4-hour drive. So now 9 o'clock. So I had a 4-hour drive back to my place. And that was pretty much it. I made it back. I made it to work the next day. I wasn't late. And that was one of those stories where it was just one of those times where, yeah, it was like, shouldn't have done that. But looking back, it was like, that was a cool experience sort of thing. Like, would I do it again? Absolutely not. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I would. I would do it with someone. And like, even though you think you know an area as well, when conditions like that come up, you don't really know. So it was a good test to see how I would react and figure out like how my brain would work in a situation like that, sort of problem solving. So I am thankful for that lesson, but I wouldn't want to do that lesson again. Or if I do, at least I'm more prepared for it now and I kind of know what to expect. But yeah, I miss those days. Like, I was just so into taking photos and getting photos. I would drive 4 hours to a place, put myself in danger like that just to get a photo and then drive back. So it didn't work out. I'll probably remember that one for a good long while. So that's it for this story. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, I'll be sharing a couple more of these. They're fun. I like just telling stories, and right now the weather's been kind of meh outside, so this gives me something to do. I can kind of reminisce, get into nostalgia a little bit, just entertain myself until I can get back out there and start doing some more adventures. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to subscribe to hear the next story, we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.